Hey guys, Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Puck It with Jo. Only 5 games on the ice, but I do think there's some nice opportunities to make some money. Now, all of these teams basically have a reason to be looking for these points in a lot of these situations. You look at the LA Kings tonight, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Dallas Stars, the Edmonton Oilers, even the New York Rangers. There's a reason for these teams to come out nice and strong in these games. So I'm not concerned about any of these teams coming out flat tonight. Let's make some freaking money out there. Big shout out to each and every one of you for being here today. The first game we're going to look at is the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, looking at current odds over on FanDuel, we are seeing the Tampa Bay Lightning coming in at minus 105. Minus 114 here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So we have seen movement during the day. There are like a minus 130 earlier in the day. That total is sitting at 6.5. Minus 110 to the under, minus 112 to the over. Now, I do think this one, we have such elite offenses on both sides. It will come down to the goaltending, which goaltender is able to have a better performance in this one. Andre Vasilevsky expected here, confirmed here for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Joseph Woll confirmed for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I was hoping it was Samsonov because Samsonov has shown his struggles versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. But when we look at Joseph Woll in net for the Toronto Maple Leafs, he's played 3 games versus the Lightning in his young career, and he's won all 3 of those with a 1.54 goals against average and a 957 save percentage. So we're going to need him, if you like Toronto tonight, to replicate what he has done. He has had a shutout win versus the Lightning as well in those 3 games. And looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, this is a side I am on. I do think Tampa's able to get this win. Getting plus money with a team here that is off a loss, but 8-1-1 in their last 10 is where I want to go. Now, I know the Maple Leafs have won their last 3, but looking here with these 2 teams, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs sitting nice and planted 3rd in the Atlantic with 95 points. Yes, they're being chased here. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are sitting 4th in the Atlantic with 89 points. They're in that first wildcard spot for the Eastern Conference, 7 points over the Capitals and the Red Wings. So they have a little bit of wiggle room here, but this is definitely a game they're going to want to come out strong and get the win. So give me the Lightning with the plus money. Now, when we look at these 2 teams matched up, we have seen the Toronto Maple Leafs win 8 of the last 10, plus the last 3 meetings. But those last 3 meetings have all gone to overtime. Could this one go to overtime? Absolutely. We could see overtime in this, as this game is too meaningful for both of these teams. The overtime line on this one is coming in at plus 370, and I will be putting some money on the plus 370 for this one. Because of that, I'm not going to look at this total. Like I said, explosive offenses on both sides of the puck, but we will see elite goaltending and the defenses needing to step up. If we're going to circle one player, we got to circle Nikita Kucherov here of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I won't blame you if you do circle Austin Matthews for the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. Nikita Kucherov, he has 127 points on the season, 42 goals, and 85 assists. He's been absolutely fire out there for the Lightning. You can look at him for the 2+ points tonight, and that's where I'm going to go at that plus 118. Now, if you want to look at Austin Matthews for the 2+ points, you're getting value there as well. He's having his best season of his career, 62 goals, leading the league. So he's phenomenal out there. Versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, why I wanted Samsonov in goals, because he's been really fade worthy. But of course, we're getting Joseph Woll in there, and Morgan Riley expected back to give extra protection to this blue line for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. So I would lean between the goaltending and Morgan Riley back here for the Leafs. This game probably stays under that total. But again, that plus 370 on overtime, I think is a stronger bet. And I don't want to see this one go 3-3 into overtime and pushes over that total. Okay. And Mitch Marner should be back by this weekend for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So something to keep note of when he gets back out there on the ice. It's going to be a good one. Let's make some guacamole. Love guacamole. Taking every team in red today. Okay, let's roll with the red team. Spoiler season is right. And are we going to see that out of the New Jersey Devils? Okay, the New Jersey Devils rolling in here on the road in New York. They are plus 162 on the money line. We have minus 196 for the New York Rangers. Total 6.5. The 6.5 actually juiced to that under. We know the offensive firepower on both sides of the puck here, minus 105 to the over. Looking at this one, Kakkonen will get the start here for the New Jersey Devils. Now, he's only faced the Rangers in one game. In that game, he allowed 2 goals on 25 shots on net. Igor Shesterkin has owned the Devils, and I mean completely owned the Devils over his career. In 17 games, he has a goals against average of 2.69. So I do think he should come out nice and strong. The only way I see the Devils winning this one is if the Rangers basically are taking a night off here. They're first in the Metro with 104 points, and I just can't see this team sleeping on any teams right now. They've won all 3 meetings versus the Devils this season, and that's the scary thing as well, because it's so hard for one team to sweep on the season, especially when they have 4 meetings. They did win back on March 11th, 3-1, February 5-1, and in November 5-3. I do think it's interesting to look at this first period over 1.5, expecting some quick goals out there on the ice. But Igor Shesterkin, like I said, has had the New Jersey Devils number. So we'll see if he allows that second goal to come in, or even a goal on him to come in. We need 2 probably out of the Rangers. We know this is something the Rangers are able to do. Now, this is the second night of a back-to-back for the New Jersey Devils. So while it's so hard to sweep a team, and while I'd love to get that plus money with the Devils to get the upset, I just can't see them being able to pull it off on the second night of the back-to-back. They're sitting 7th in the Metro with 76 points, 6 points behind the Washington Capitals for that final wild card spot. Mathematically not out of the equation yet for them to make that wild card spot and make the playoffs. I just don't see it happening. The one bet I do have the faith in this game is just to look at Panarin. Panarin to come out strong for the New York Rangers, win or lose. I think Panarin gets those 2+ points out there on the ice, and that's coming in at plus 116. So that's actually the only bet I've made personally in this game, is to take Panarin for the 2+ points at plus 116. I just don't think it's worth the risk here to lay the puck line here with the New York Rangers in case they're just mailing this game in. But again, I can't see them wanting to do that. And also, I don't think it's worth the risk on the New Jersey Devils. They're a much weaker team than the New York Rangers here, and I'm not willing to take them on the second night of a back-to-back. Maybe if this was the first night and they hadn't lost that last game, I would be looking at them, but I can't look at them tonight. You're going to take the Devils. Good luck. I could see the Devils pulling it off. They do love to step up in situations like this. New York could look past them tonight. So best of luck. I'll be cheering for you if you're able to cash that bet. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Dallas Stars. Now, this is going to be the best game of the night here. I was hoping for Skinner versus Jake Ottinger. It is Pickard now for the Edmonton Oilers. He's 2-2-1 in his 5 games versus the Dallas Stars. He has a 3.02 goals against average and a 905 save percentage in those 5 games. I think we could have seen the Stars hit Skinner a little bit harder, but Pickard is a backup goalie here. I still do have faith in the Stars to come out and get this win. This is too important for both of these teams. So we can't even really make a case for one of these teams. It's more important for the points. I do think this one could hit overtime as well. The Dallas Stars are coming in at minus 125 on the money line and plus 104 for the Edmonton Oilers. Now that total is sitting at 6.5. It is minus 110 to either side of the 6.5. Jake Ottinger won the last start, has won his last 5 starts. He has been absolutely phenomenal out there versus the Oilers. He's gone 2-2-1 in his last 5 with a 3.21 goals against average and an 880 save percentage. He's going to have to be focused tonight and on point for the Dallas Stars to be able to get the win. He can't do what we've seen out of him in previous starts versus the Oilers. So I'm hoping for a hot night out of him. The Dallas Stars have won their last 7 games, and they're looking to make history tonight. If the Dallas Stars win 8 games in a row tonight, getting this win, this will be the first Dallas Stars team in history to win 8 straight games. So I'm looking for them to make that history tonight. They're also first in the Central with 103 points, first in the Western Conference, 1 point behind the New York Rangers for the President's Trophy. So this team has so much to play for, but that also adds into the weight of why I don't think the New York Rangers will mail it in unless they believe in the curse of the President's Trophy. And we will see if they're feeling that tonight at all. We look at the Oilers, and they're looking to take that number one spot from the Vancouver Canucks for the Pacific. They're now sitting second in the Pacific. When we look at previous matchups between these teams, this is the third meeting of the season. They're split so far. The last meeting was won by the Edmonton Oilers in Dallas, 4-3 in overtime. Dallas won the first meeting of the season, 4-3 in Edmonton. So far this season, the road team has had the advantage. I'm looking for that to finish tonight as Dallas gets this win. So minus 125 on the money line for the Dallas Stars. Now, if you're looking for goal scorers, I'm kind of cautious in this game because I don't know which way the scoring is going to go. I have no real solid feeling on that total. I lean to this one staying under that total, but we know we've seen some highly explosive offensive games. And while this is so late into the season for these teams to play that way, if one team scores early, and we know they have the playmakers on both sides of the puck for that to happen, we'll see this game really open up. So Rupe Hintz has been on fire, Jason Robinson and Wyatt Johnston there for the Dallas Stars. And of course, when we talk about Edmonton, it is Connor McDavid. He has 20 points, 4 goals, 6 assists in his last 8 games. So he's been absolutely fire. Zach Hyman has 52 goals on the season, and Leon Draisaitl has 13 points, 6 goals, and 7 assists, and he's on an 8-game point streak. So something to look at there for all of those players. But this one, it's hard because you look at the Edmonton Oilers, they have 262 goals on the season. The Dallas Stars have 273. Both of these teams can absolutely bring it offensively. With Pickard and net, if the Dallas Stars hit him early, we know the Edmonton Oilers can break into a highly offensive, fast-paced, hard-hitting game, and we could see that out of them. So I don't want to touch the total. I will look at overtime here, and I'll look at the Dallas Stars to be able to get the win. Overtime in this game, you guys, I believe it's plus 360. Let me just double-check on the overtime bet here. It's plus 340 for this game to go to overtime, and I do think there is so much value in that. We have 2 more games to go over. Just want to give a big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Dallas isn't overvalued. I think Dallas is playing phenomenal right now on the season. I know they're not a team I talk about a lot because they kind of go to sleep at one part during the season, but I'm liking what we're doing right now out of the Dallas Stars. So let's make some money today, you guys. It's a good day. Connor McDavid looking for the assist, 2+ assists is a nice value. Let me know the value you're getting on him for the 2+ assists. The Rangers and the Stars. Did I say Stars? I meant the Oilers and the Stars. If I said Stars, that was a slip up. Let's look at the Seattle Kraken taking on the LA Kings. Now, the LA Kings have to be careful tonight. They absolutely need this win. We see Seattle rolling in off a win, and the Seattle team at the start of March, they had high hopes to make the playoffs. This team not officially eliminated, but they're right on that verge of elimination. The LA Kings are trying to hold on to that last wild card spot. They have 87 points sitting fourth in the Pacific. They can't afford to not get the points tonight. They need the 2 points. They can't just take a 1-point game here. Cam Talbot should be in net for them, and Joey Daccord for the Seattle Kraken. I look at Seattle and how poorly they've played, and while they might want to play upset, I can't see it happening here against the LA Kings at home. Yes, the LA Kings were on the road and they lost their last 3. Terrible road trip there. It was a 4-game road trip. They were able to win that first one, then lost 3 in a row. I do think getting back at home will be a positive for this team. I'm looking for them to be able to record the win here, but we know the odds are so juiced on the LA Kings. So you're having to lay minus 176 on the money line. You guys know I can't get there. Plus 146 for the Seattle Kraken, total 5.5, minus 122 to the under, and plus 100 to the over. That puck line for the LA Kings for the full game, minus 1.5, is plus 150. I think if you like the puck line, you got to look at the puck line in the first period. I think the LA Kings on their home ice in the first period should come out on fire. That puck line in the first period is where I'm going to put my money, laying the half a goal at plus 150. Kopitar has been phenomenally strong for them, even in their losses. So I do like Kopitar for the anytime goal. I'm just going to look at the value on Kopitar for the anytime goal because I can't remember off the top of my head what it was sitting at. Kopitar is coming in at plus 220, and then you can look at Kempe as well at plus 185. So I do think between the two of them, I'd take Kopitar and the more value in that one. I'm also going to look at the Kings in regulation. If you look at the LA Kings just to win it, this game not be pushed to overtime, that's coming in at minus 125. But I do think that first period bet is probably the stronger of the two. So when we look at the Seattle Kraken and their lack of abilities as of late, they haven't beat a team that is going to be making the playoffs since back in March on the 5th when they were able to beat the Winnipeg Jets. So this team has showed their struggles over the last month, and they will not get any of my money, especially with how tight this race is in the Western Conference for the LA Kings. Again, they're sitting fourth in the Pacific, 87 points. 3 points ahead of the St. Louis Blues. That's not a lot of wiggle room. They have 8 games left on the season. The St. Louis Blues have 7. So they do have a game in hand. But I tell you guys, this is going to be a hard one for the Kings to hold on to that spot. The Vancouver Canucks and the Arizona Coyotes is the last game on the board. Now, looking at this matchup here, Vancouver's on the second night of a back-to-back, and we did see them take that loss last night to Vegas on their first game out on the road. Versus the Coyotes tonight, I know the Coyotes love to play that upset role, and we should see an explosive game out of them as Silas is in net for Vancouver and not Casey DeSmith. So I am looking for those goals to come out of the Arizona Coyotes at home in Mullet Arena. But who do I have more faith in to get those goals, especially off the loss to the Vegas Golden Knights last night? This team knows that the Edmonton Oilers are chasing them in the Pacific. They're sitting first in the Pacific, but not comfortably right now. And I do think Vancouver is able to record a win here tonight over the Arizona Coyotes. They have won 7 of the last 10 meetings, including back in January, 2-1. While it was a low-scoring event last time, between the goaltending matchup here in Vancouver on the second night of a back-to-back, I am looking for a higher scoring game. We have a team total of the Vancouver Canucks at 3.5. I will take that to the over. That's coming in at plus 100, and I expect these goals to come out right away. Out of the gate. That first period over 1.5 is coming in at minus 122. And I do think it's a solid way to go. Now, looking at the Arizona Coyotes, if you want to play on their team total, it's 2.5, but it's juiced at minus 138. I do think they find 3 goals in this one. This team is digging deep to finish the season solid. Now, they're 7th in the Central. They've been eliminated. There's no hopes for them, but they do like to play that spoiler role. I could see this being a 5-4 game. So 5-4 either way as the Arizona Coyotes find the back of the net too. This way, both of those team totals hits, the over hits in this game. But again, I have the most faith in the Vancouver Canucks team total over 3.5. We're getting that at plus 100. And the first period over 1.5 goals at minus 122. Clayton Keller for the anytime goal for the Arizona Coyotes is coming in at plus 170. You guys know I have him circled. For the Vancouver Canucks, Quinn Hughes, fantastic game last night, picking up those points and those goals. I'd look at Quinn Hughes again to keep rolling, JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. So I think all of them can have success out there. Kings and Vancouver parlay money line of minus 1.5, Lauren. I can't hate on that. I do think both of those teams need the win tonight and should be able to win it big. So I would be looking at that as well. You think Vancouver comes out with attitude? They absolutely have to come out with attitude. I'd be looking at the Vancouver Canucks also in the first period because we know teams off those losses come out so strong, especially when they're looking to pick up the points. And yeah, Vancouver on the money line should be able to get the win. It's a little juicy, but I do think they come out nicely today. And I'm glad you guys are riding the Kings with me. Yeah, it won't defend the same. Seattle could be a live dog in this one. I just don't think the Kings can allow this one to go. And we see the Seattle Kraken struggle to score. I kind of wonder who the playmakers are going to be. Now, goaltending isn't confirmed for the LA Kings. As long as it's Cam Talbot in net. And let me just see if we got any confirmation as of yet. We are getting Cam Talbot, his number coming in at 25.5. With defensive players missing for the LA Kings, we can expect the Seattle Kraken to get more shots on goal. That being said, the Seattle Kraken are not a team that get a ton of shots. I would stay off this 25.5 because I could see it going under the number and the LA Kings still winning. I hate taking goalie props to that under. It's minus 125 as well. to that under. I only like taking the goalie props to the over. So that's a pretty tight one to the chest for them to be able to go over that number. But that's everything for today. Yeah, Montreal last night. We had some crazy games out there last night. There was a whole ton of them. All of these teams, you look at these teams that are playing the spoiler role and their ability to get the win. The Pittsburgh Penguins came out phenomenally strong. The Buffalo Sabres able to get the win over the Washington Capitals playing that spoiler role. Same with Montreal. Sam Montague actually had a really solid game, even though he still did allow those 3 goals in by the Florida Panthers. The New York Islanders were able to get us that win there 2-1. The Wild got the win over the Sens. I was really hoping the Sens would be able to pull it off, and I expected more out of the Predators in that game versus the Boston Bruins. I can't believe they got shut out in that one. Calgary lost to the Ducks. I still can't believe that. It was just a weak day for the Calgary Flames out there. The Ducks definitely put another nail in their playoff hopes. But you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go with the Kings of Vancouver in the first period as well. I think, Lauren, it's a really solid bet to look for these teams to come out so solid in the first period. I do think, though, we look at the schedule. Let me just pull up the schedule again. If I was looking for first periods across the board, I would take the Lightning in the first period, the Rangers in the first period, the Dallas Stars. That's a hard one because Edmonton is so good in that first period. So the Lightning, the Rangers, the Kings, and Vancouver, all in the first period. I think solid, all on the puck line. I'm going to throw that parlay in. All on the puck line. Let's see if we can make some big money tonight. You guys, all the best in all your bets. I am on Game Time Decisions at 6:25 Eastern. So join me in the next 30 minutes over there. We're going to be talking some hockey, some baseball for today. And yes, JT Miller for that anytime goal is always a winner for the Vancouver Canucks. So all the best with all of your bets, you guys. We will see you later on Game Time Decisions and then back here tomorrow at the same time, 5:30 Eastern. Bye, you guys.